Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanaatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Eco depth, eco time zero. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. Treble thoda kam kariye. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. Take it. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita class. Thank you for taking out your precious time and coming to attend Gita class. We are continuing our discussion from Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are on chapter 2nd entitled Contents of Gita Summarized. So far we have heard many important concepts described by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes two types of knowledge. Some are instructive, some are prescriptive. So what is the meaning of these two words? Some are descriptive and some are prescriptive. There are some things which Krishna just describes for the sake of information. But there are some things which Krishna tells to apply in our lives. They are the prescriptions. It's like, what is a better place than a hospital to speak like on prescriptions? Prescription कब देते हैं? डॉक्टर के पास कोई घूमने फिरने जाता है क्या? घूमते फिरते और डॉक्टर से मिल के आते हैं. We go to doctor to get a prescription from him. And after getting prescription, if somebody says आज मूड नहीं हो रहा है, कल जाके दवाई लेंगे. Then why do you go to doctor? So when you go to a doctor and get prescription, then you are supposed to take the medicine and apply, eat it. Buy from the chemist and take it. So there are some things which Krishna describes, they are prescriptions which we have to apply in our life. One of the things which Krishna tells is be equipoised. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shita ushna sukha dukkhada agama apayino anitya tam stitikshasva. O kaunteya, heat, cold, happiness, distress, they'll come and they will go. Learn to tolerate them. Titikshasva, sahan karna sikhiye. That is that is the first information, the preliminary information, the first information Krishna is giving to Arjuna. Learn to tolerate. That is very important. And so far we have heard so many things. Just to give a quick recap of what we have discussed so far. अभी तक तो हमने इतने बार सुना नहीं, अभी तक तो याद हो गया होगा सबको. Those who are coming regularly. अभी तो इतना याद हो जाना चाहिए कि रात में भी उठा के पूछेंगे तो पूरा फ्लो आना चाहिए. फर्स्ट चैप्टर में क्या है, सेकंड चैप्टर में क्या है. In the first chapter, it begins by a question of Dhritarashtra. What did my sons and sons of Pandu do? Kya kiya? Because he is fearful. Maybe my sons should not change. They should not become dharmic. And maybe Pandavas should become, they may become more dharmic and they'll say, we will not fight, just take the property. Sanjay says, ऐसा कुछ होने नहीं वाला है, तुम्हारा बेटा नहीं सुधरेगा कभी. Just see, he has gone to his teacher Dronacharya and he's saying something. Tava shishyena dhimata. Your intelligent disciple has arranged all this army. Now please be careful. You taught him everything. Now just see what he has done. Don't make the same mistake. And then he takes the name of all the warriors on the side of Pandavas and he misses one important person. Krishna. Why? He is not ready. He is not going to fight. He is not going to pick up weapons. तो क्या फायदा इनका नाम लेके? बिना अस्त्र के शस्त्र के क्या फायदा? ये तो सारथी है. And then he takes the name of all the warriors on his side and he mentions a very interesting person. Karna. What is so interesting about Karna? He is not there. But he has faith in Karna. ये तो हमेशा मेरे साथ ही रहने वाला है. That is the difference between a spiritual person and a material person. A materialistic person, he believes in his own resources, his own skills, his capabilities, his relations, his contacts. I can do anything because I am so powerful. That was Duryodhana. What is the need to get Krishna in picture? ये तो युद्ध नहीं करने वाले. भगवान है कि नहीं है क्या मालूम. मंदिर में है खाली, मानो तो है, नहीं मानो तो नहीं है. That is Duryodhana type of people. They don't even acknowledge the presence of God. Then all the warriors on the side of Bhishma, on the Kauravas, they blow their conch beginning with Bhishma. And the combined effect was Sashabda Tumulo Abhavat. It was a great sound. And when the Pandavas, they blew their conch beginning with whom? Why Krishna blew the conch? Who was the commander-in-chief? Drishtadyumna was the commander-in-chief. थोड़ा अभी तो महाभारत के कैरेक्टर्स थोड़े बहुत पता चल गए होंगे ना. थोड़ा बहुत भगवद गीता घर में जाके खोलते हैं ना आप लोग कभी कभी? नहीं प्रभु जी, एज इट इज कितना अच्छा लगता है ना. थोड़ा उनको कभी कभी खोला कीजिए भगवद गीता, तो देखो अपने आप बंद भी हो रही है. कभी कभी खोलना चाहिए, सेहत के लिए अच्छा रहता है. So we should read it. At least try to make some commitment to Bhagavad Gita, to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada has spent really sleepless nights writing these purports. We should try to read them. रात भर पढ़ जग के किसके लिए लिखे हैं? हमारे लिए लिखे हैं. Today morning, Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he was describing how much Srila Prabhupada went through. What all things he had gone through. He left his family in 1955, took sannyas, went to Vrindavan with no resources, no money, nobody to help. He would beg for what, you know? He would not beg for food. He would beg for papers. Please give me papers so that I can write these purports. And he would day and night write these purports. And if somebody would give him something, he would eat. That's how he did for 6 years and wrote these purports of Bhagavatam, first canto. And then he embarked on this mission to the West. Before that, to print, to edit, he was doing everything alone. No, there was no PR team for him working. चलो PR टीम है, ये एडिटिंग टीम है, प्रिंटिंग टीम है, मेरा काम तो खाली बुक लिखना है. He was doing everything. He was going to the printing shop, he was going to editors, negotiating with them, getting sponsors, getting paper, because paper was very, very difficult to get in those times. And then he would distribute himself. And one time he got heat stroke, he fell down, nobody to help him. One time he was distributing Back to Godhead magazine, a bull hit him, knocked him down, he was on the ground with nobody to help. He went through a lot. But still he didn't give up. He kept on writing, kept on printing, and with one intention, that my spiritual master has given me the order to preach this message of Krishna consciousness to the Western world in English language. I have to do it. He was begging many people, give me ticket, I want to go to America to preach this message of Bhagavad Gita. Sumati Morarji, one of the very influential ladies in the history of India, Sumati Morarji. She was the owner of Scindia Steamship Company. Prabhupada begged her, can you please give me one ticket to America? She had many ships, cargo ships, not passenger ship, cargo ship. And then she would say, Swamiji, you will die there. I know, I have been to America, you will die there. You can't go to America, you will not get anything to eat. Prabhupada was not, going back. Ultimately, she gave one ticket. And it was on a cargo ship, not passenger ship. Cargo ship means there are no proper, arrangements for staying. Just 1-2 rooms for the captain and few crew. He boarded a ship in Calcutta, and the ship was named, what was the name of the ship? VM Jaladuta, the famous ship which changed our destiny. वो शिप से नहीं जाते प्रभुपाद तो हम यहाँ पे नहीं बैठे होते अभी, आप ये लेक्चर नहीं सुन रहे होते अगर वो शिप नहीं होता. Prabhupada boarded the ship in Kolkata, nobody there to see off. ऐसा नहीं था कि अरे इतने सारे लोग आ रहे हैं टाटा बोलने के लिए, चलो भाई हम. He is taking the message of Bhagavatam to the Western world. Nobody was there. Only few people. 3-4 लोग थे. Then the ship reached Cochin. Then the Bhagavatams, which were getting printed in Mumbai, they were uploaded. They were loaded on the ship. Few crates of Bhagavatam. That was the only property Srila Prabhupada had. He didn't take money with him. How much money he had when he was on his... Only 40 rupees, that's all. If we plan our trip to मुंबई के बाहर भी जाएंगे, मुंबई के मीरा रोड से भी बाहर जाएंगे, तो 40 रुपए आज के समय में भी 40 रुपए लेके कोई नहीं निकलेगा. So what to speak of going abroad with 40 rupees? He had faith in God. He had faith in the words of his spiritual master. And then as he boarded the Jaladuta, within few days he had 2 heart attacks. Somehow he survived. And it was 38 days long journey in ocean. And Prabhupada would write in his diary, I am feeling nausea, seasickness, nobody to help. Prabhupada didn't give up. Prabhupada didn't say, थोड़ा टर्न लो भाई, उतर जाता हूँ, नेक्स्ट स्टॉप पे उतर जाता हूँ, बस हो गया. No. He continued. And then he landed in Boston. He was staying with people who were meat eaters. Nobody was welcoming him. कि चलो भाई स्वामी जी आए हैं. In India, he was a very, very famous saint. But in the Western world, he was nobody. Nobody knew also who is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. And he wanted to start a worldwide movement with 40 rupees. After a few years, when he came back to India, one of the businessmen, he came to meet him because he came to know that Swamiji has become very successful in preaching. He has now centers all over the world. And Srila Prabhupada, he was giving his class and he was saying, I went to America with 40 rupees and I came back with 40 crores. He had temples all over the world worth 40 crores. So this businessman, he came to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, ये सब आपने कैसे किया? 40 रुपया लेके 40 crore कमा के आए. So he thought Swamiji is a good businessman because he was a businessman earlier. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Abhay Babu, he had a pharmaceutical company. So he said, Swamiji ये सब कैसे किया? ये हिंदी में पूछ रहे हैं. तो प्रभुपाद बोलते हैं, मैं गया, पेड़ के नीचे बैठा, कीर्तन किया और सब हो गया. नहीं स्वामीजी, और क्या किया? और कुछ किया होगा ना? नहीं, बस पेड़ के नीचे बैठा, कीर्तन किया और सब हो गया. नहीं स्वामीजी, ऐसा थोड़ी ना होता है, और कुछ किया होगा. So he was not able to understand कि ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है. And actually this is what Prabhupada did. He sat under a tree in Tompkins Square Park, and that's how he started his movement. He was alone, nobody to help him. He didn't have even mridanga also. Somebody gave him a bongo drum, एक छोटा वाला drum होता है, उसको ऐसा डम 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 बस उतना ही बजता है. Prabhupada went there in Tompkins Square Park, sat under one tree, and with his eyes closed, he was intensely chanting for 4 hours. Same mantra, same tune, no variation. आजकल कीर्तन मेला में तो हजारों वेरिएशन सुनते हैं ना हम लोग. एक के बाद हर एक मिनट में कीर्तन का ट्यून चेंज हो रहा है. Prabhupada chanted this one tune. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Same tune, intensely, with eyes closed. 4 hours, 4 घंटा. हम लोग 4 मिनट भी आँख बंद करके आएंगे तो बोलेंगे अभी थक गए अभी. That was the faith Prabhupada had. And when he opened his eyes, he saw around him many young boys and girls there singing and dancing with him. That's how he started his movement. So Prabhupada has really worked hard. So at least we should try to read. That is how we can reciprocate. We can never repay what Srila Prabhupada and all the great acharyas have done for us. But we can reciprocate. How? By reading it, by distributing, by bringing others closer to this process of spiritual life. So Arjun, he tells Krishna, please place my chariot in between the 2 armies. And Krishna places the chariot right in front of Bhishma and Drona. They are the dearmost to Krishna, to Arjuna. And Arjun, he is seeing all the generations assembled in front of him. 5 generations. Grandfathers, fathers, uncles, brothers, sons and grandsons. Generations, 5 generations, not for a get-together, but to fight. And he gets into complete confusion. I don't want to fight, O Krishna. I am feeling compassionate. I will become sinful. How will I enjoy? Family will be destroyed. Who will protect the women of the society? They may be exploited. Unwanted progeny may be born. And ultimately says, Krishna, I will not fight. And he surrenders. And that's where Krishna, he starts speaking. He gives the knowledge of the soul. And in this verse today which we are discussing, he is describing the process of yoga. What is actual yoga? We'll recite this 48th verse. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddha siddhayo samo bhutva Samatvam yoga uchyate. Somebody read the translation, please, loudly.
Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga.
Okay. Yoga asthaha, being situated in yoga, kuru karmani, perform your duty. Do your duty, being situated in this yoga. Sangam tyaktva, giving up all the attachment. Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya means the conqueror of wealth. What are the different names of Arjun we know? Parth, Kaunteya, Gudakesha, Dhananjaya, or one very interesting name Krishna mentions in the 11th chapter. Savyasachi. Nimitta matram bhava sabyasachi. Sabyasachi means ambidextrous. बाएं हाथ नहीं, दोनों हाथ. He was ambidextrous. He could shoot arrow using his both hands. Just like some people can write with both hands. You know anyone? दोनों हाथ से लिख सकते हैं कुछ लोग. They are ambidextrous. Arjuna was like that, ambidextrous, Sabyasachi. So here he is called as Dhananjaya. Sangam tyaktva Dhananjaya. Oh Arjun, give up all attachment. And third line is very interesting. Siddhi, asiddhi, sam. Either in success or in failure, be equipoised. And this such equanimity, samatvam yoga uchyate, this equanimity is called yoga. So basically Krishna is saying, be focused, be clear, be equipoised. Because in this world there is nothing which is to be too excited about. And there is nothing to get too agitated about. This is very interesting. Krishna is saying, there is nothing in this world which should make you too excited. You know, sometimes people get too excited because of some things. फर्स्ट आ गए और लॉटरी लग गया तो एकदम excited. And some people they are so morose. It's like one time a person was praying to God, oh God, बस ये एक बार एक लॉटरी ये वाली लॉटरी लगवा दो. He was praying very intensely. Result आया, नहीं लगी लॉटरी. Next year again he was praying, oh Lord, बस इस बार तो लॉटरी लगवा दो. फिर नहीं लगी लॉटरी. थर्ड टाइम, ओ भगवान, ए भगवान, एक बार तो लॉटरी लगवाओ. भगवान बोले, अरे टिकट तो खरीद पहले. टिकट नहीं खरीदेगा तो कैसे लॉटरी लगेगी? So, you know, some people they don't want to work but they want results. मेहनत नहीं करना है लेकिन रिजल्ट चाहिए. So there are two kinds of distractions, success and failure. Which is a bigger distraction when it comes to spiritual life? Success or failure? How many of you feel success? Failure is a distraction, bigger distraction. नहीं, किसी को नहीं लगता है. अरे बाप रे, सक्सेस सब यहाँ पे सेल्फ रियलाइज सोल्स बैठे हैं सब. Why success is a bigger distraction?
Creates
Goes to the head.
It goes to the head, it creates ego. और उससे क्या होता है?
अपने आप को भगवान समझ लेते हैं.
भगवान कहाँ समझेंगे? One forgets God. That is the most important thing. या फिर ओके ठीक है, अभी भगवान नहीं चाहिए, इतनी जल्दी नहीं चाहिए, अभी तो सब अच्छा चल रहा है लाइफ में. जब भगवान की जरूरत होगी तब बुलाएंगे उनको. Now my life is set. Things are all going according to my plans. That's why success is a bigger distraction when it comes to spiritual principles. But Krishna is saying whether success or failure, be equipoised. Samatvam yoga, siddhi asiddhi sam. This is a very consistent theme in Bhagavad Gita. Be equipoised. Jada khushi, jada gam. Don't get disturbed in any of this. Because वो कभी खुशी कभी गम में तो आते ही रहेंगे, ऐसा नहीं है. We should not become callous, we should understand everything is temporary. This shall also pass. ये भी चला जाएगा. So we should be focused. If we are distracted, then we can meet with an accident. If we are looking here and there while driving, then there are chances that we may either get distracted or we may meet with some accident. So, in the previous verse, Krishna said we should not work with a desire for results. In this verse, Krishna is saying work without attachment for success and failure. So then somebody may say, "Bhai, karna kyun hai fir काम? If I don't want results, if I don't have to get disturbed by success and failure, why should I work then?" The answer is, we have to work to actually develop that connection with the Lord. All our work should ultimately bring us to this one purpose. I want to develop my connection with God. That's how we have to mold our life. Because ultimately everyone thinks, the more I get money, the more I'll get love of people. The more I'll become rich, उतना लोग मुझे पसंद करेंगे, उतना लोग बोलेंगे कितना बड़ा आदमी है, लोग मुझे प्यार करेंगे. But it doesn't happen the way we want. First of all, we don't get success. And if we get success, we don't attract the love which we expected. And even if the love we expected comes, people don't love us for who we are. People love us for what we have. हमको नहीं प्रेम करते हैं लोग. हमारे पास क्या है उसको प्रेम करते हैं. And even if somebody gets genuine, authentic lover, ऐसा रेयर है, मिलता नहीं है. फिल्मों में भी पता नहीं आजकल मिलता है कि नहीं. And they lived happily ever after दिखा तो देते हैं. अभी भी दिखाते हैं क्या मूवी के एंड में? And they lived, दिखाना भी बंद कर दिया आजकल. मतलब मैं तो 20 साल पहले की बात बोल रहा हूँ, उसके बाद देखी नहीं मूवी अभी. 2004 के पहले ही देखी थी कुछ मूवीज. पहले दिखाते थे ना, मतलब all the love marriages would end, अरे चलो बीवी शादी हो गई, and the movie would end with and they lived happily ever after. अभी दिखाते हैं ऐसा? दिखाते ही नहीं है. उनको ही मालूम है ऐसा होता नहीं है अभी. And they lived happily किधर ever after? उसके बाद तो असली मैच शुरू होता है. वो बताया था ना आपको, वो लड़का अपने पापा को पूछता है, पापा वो शादी के पहले वो हाथ क्यों मिलाते हैं, लड़का लड़की? होता है ना अभी भी. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? हस्तमिलाप, पाणी ग्रहण बोलते हैं उसको संस्कृत में, पाणी ग्रहण. तो पापा को क्या मालूम हाथ क्यों मिलाते हैं? प्री वेडिंग नहीं, शादी में. अच्छा ठीक है, नहीं ठीक है, ज्यादा डिटेल मत बताइए. तो पापा ने अपना दिमाग लगाया. पापा को क्या मालूम ये हाथ क्यों मिलाते हैं? पापा ने बोला, बेटा तूने बॉक्सिंग का मैच देखा है क्या? बोला हाँ पापा देखा है. बोला उसमें सबसे पहले क्या करते हैं? बोले पापा हाथ मिलाते हैं. बोले बराबर बेटा, वैसा इधर भी होता है. पहला हाथ मिलाते हैं, उसके बाद असली मैच शुरू होता है. So anyways, even if somebody gets an authentic love, which is rare, one of the lover doesn't last. Death ends this love. So therefore we have to understand, ideally everybody wants love in this world. Everybody wants love and to be loved. Wants to love somebody and wants to get that love. But problem है, मिलता नहीं है love. वो प्रेम मिलता ही नहीं संसार में. Pure love, without any motivations, without any adulteration, unalloyed love is very rare. So therefore scriptures, they tell, please direct your loving propensity to love God. Because He is the only one who can satisfy everyone's loving propensity. He can satisfy everyone completely. So therefore, Prabhupada in this purport writes, yoga means to concentrate the mind upon the Supreme by controlling the ever-disturbing senses. The senses will always be disturbed. The first principle in spiritual life is control the senses, which is so very difficult to control the senses. Which is difficult to control? More difficult, mind or the senses? How many of you feel senses are more difficult to control than the mind? How many of you feel like दोनों तो difficult है ही है अपने लिए, लेकिन दोनों में से कौन सा ज़्यादा difficult है? How many of you feel mind is more difficult to control? बाकी लोगों को क्या लग रहा है? Ideally, both are difficult, but of them the senses are still easier to control. Therefore, Krishna tells in the second chapter, it will come in some time. Krishna says, Arjun, begin by controlling your senses. Tasmat tvam indriyani adav niyamya. Control the senses. Because Prabhupada is writing, ever disturbing senses. Senses are always disturbed. One scene, one thought, some fragrance enters our nose. अच्छा, पुरानी यादें ताज़ा हो जाती हैं साहब. जो भी वहाँ पे वो पाव भाजी की दुकान और वो समोसे की दुकान और वो पहले ये गली में ना बहुत अच्छा था, लेकिन अभी तो क्या कांदा लहसुन खाते नहीं हम लोग, तो ठीक है अभी जाना तो भी नहीं खाएंगे. You know, all those things, they come in the mind. We are always disturbed. Have you ever seen, in the entrance of the temple, there is a tortoise, kept. Tortoise का एक figure रहता है. Why that tortoise is there? बोलेंगे प्रभु जी देखिए, हम आपको डिस्टर्ब नहीं करते हैं ना, आप भी हमको डिस्टर्ब मत करिए. हम आपको चुपचाप कुछ भी डिस्टर्ब नहीं कर रहे हैं, बोलने दे रहे हैं ना, तो आप भी हमको बोलने मत दीजिए. आप हमको चुपचाप बैठने दीजिए, हम आपको बोलने देंगे. सो माई जॉब इज टू मेक यू थिंक, विच नोबडी लाइक्स. सोचेंगे नहीं तो फिर क्लास अच्छा था, क्या था, सब अच्छा ही था, इतना अच्छा था कि कुछ याद ही नहीं आ रहा है. Why tortoise is there? क्या जी? हाँ, so हमको क्या करना है? Krishna tells this in one of the verses. Please take out, I think. हाँ, कौन सा श्लोक है वो? यदा समर्थे. हाँ, take out 58th verse of the second chapter. Controlling senses is not so easy. So Krishna is giving the example of this tortoise. 2.58, everybody is on? Yada samharate chayam kurmongani sarvashaha indriyan indriyarthebhya tasya pragya pratisthita. So Krishna is saying, just like the tortoise controls and withdraws all his limbs. How many limbs are coming out of the shell of the tortoise? How many parts of his body? Five. This tortoise is very apt example. We explore the world by how many senses? 5. That's why Krishna is giving the example of tortoise. Just like the tortoise withdraws all his senses, all his limbs when he is faced with danger, similarly a spiritualist should control and withdraw his senses in the outside world. We should not explore the world. आज कौन सा मूवी निकला? थोड़ा सा ट्रेलर देखेंगे बस. Don't tempt yourself. हम पूरी मूवी नहीं देखेंगे प्रभु जी, हम ट्रेलर देख के संतुष्ट हो जाएंगे. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Don't be overconfident. You give something to your senses, it is like blazing fire. थोड़ा सा उसमें घी डालिए, आग बुझती है और जलती है. Don't tempt yourself. Otherwise, the senses will devour our devotional propensities. थोड़ा करते करते चले ही जाएंगे उधर. थोड़ा और. Senses, they demand very little. शुरू में ना थोड़ा सा ही मांगते हैं. Prabhupada tells a story of इसलिए आप लोगों का एक्सपीरियंस होगा ना, ट्रेन में बैठ जा रहे हैं, आपकी रिजर्वेशन है 4 सीट, तीनों सीट आपकी हैं, और एक स्टेशन पे एक फैमिली चढ़ती है, 2 छोटे बच्चे, हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ. तो पति बोलता है, भाई साहब कि मेरे छोटे बच्चे को थोड़ा बिठा दो ना, 2 स्टेशन के बाद उतरना है। तो 10 मिनट हो गए, तो बोलता भाई साहब ये दूसरा वाला भी बेचारा कब से खड़ा है, इसको भी बिठा लो ना थोड़ा सा। ठीक है, उस पर भी दया कर दी, उसको भी बिठाया। भाई साहब ये पत्नी कब से थक गई है, थोड़ा उसको भी बिठा लो ना। अभी बेचारा जो फैमिली जिसकी रिजर्वेशन हो कोने में ऐसा बैठा है, ऐसा करके, और जिसका रिजर्वेशन नहीं है वो आराम से बैठा है। That is how our senses are. You give them little, they'll occupy our entire space. They are ever disturbing, they'll never be silent. So first thing in our spiritual life is control the senses. Don't tempt them, don't put them in little bit of temptation की थोड़ा सा कर लेते हैं, थोड़ा ही देखेंगे। थोड़ा देखने से नहीं होता है। They keep on desiring. So therefore Krishna is saying, yoga means to concentrate the mind upon the supreme by controlling the ever disturbing senses. It begins with controlling our senses. We are now controlled by our senses. That is called as Go Das. Go means senses, Das means the servant. From Go Das, the journeys we have to become Goswami, from servant to the master. Then slowly this will come, Siddhi Asiddhi Sam. That is very, very important to understand. Otherwise, if we are not detached from success or failure, we will get disturbed by anything which is happening in our life. Because there will be people who will not behave the way we want. There will be situations which we didn't expect, and then people think maybe ये मेरे लिए था ही नहीं, मेरे साथ ही हमेशा ऐसा क्यों होता है, maybe भगवान नहीं चाहते कि मेरे साथ हो अच्छा, maybe I can't even practice all this, maybe I should just quit because I was so very obsessed with the results. नहीं में रिजल्ट मिला ना, अभी क्या फायदा, we will not work. So therefore, if we are too much attached to something, I want success, then the result is disappointment if we don't become successful. And if we get success, it goes to our head. Just see, I am able to do so many things. I don't need anyone else. So therefore, it is so very important to have this balance. Sangam tyaktva siddha siddhayo sama. Because when we work and we don't get the result, then detachment works. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. Next time again we will practice. And then slowly we don't get disturbed. When we are only thinking of why I didn't get this, then we get disturbed by that thought more. Accept things. Okay, accept the people. When we accept people, our relationships, they become better. How many of you get disturbed by somebody वो दरवाजा खोलते हैं और बंद नहीं करते हैं? है किसी आपके जीवन में ऐसा कोई? रोज होता है। दरवाजा खोलते हैं, बंद नहीं करते हैं। और फिर पत्नी डांटती है, फिर पति चिल्लाते हैं, बंद क्यों नहीं करते हैं दरवाजा, टैप पूरा नहीं बंद करते हैं, और फिर ड्रॉर खोला, ड्रॉर बंद नहीं किया, एंड पीपल गेट अपसेट, भाई क्यों नहीं ये बंद करते हैं, एंड वी गेट रियली इरिटेटेड, छोटी छोटी चीज. When we accept people the way they are, that doesn't mean we will not correct them, but there are some people who will never change. आपको भी मालूम है ये कभी बदलने नहीं वाले हैं, ये ऐसे ही रहने वाले हैं, ये सुधरने वाले नहीं हैं. That's his nature or her nature, you know that. There are different natures people have. You can't change them. Accept them the way they are. You will become peaceful. The problem starts when we want to change people. वो बदलेंगे ही नहीं. जैसे there are some small children also. वो बैठेंगे तो आराम से ऐसा दीवार पे ऐसा लेट के बैठेंगे, और पेरेंट्स कितना बोलते हैं, अरे सीधा बैठ. और तो बच्चे को ऐसे ही बैठना है. कुछ बच्चे ऐसे ही बैठते हैं, तो आराम से. They are like they are fun lovers. मतलब they are always in energy saving mode. क्यों एनर्जी खर्चा करना भाई, आराम से बैठेंगे, पापा क्यों इतना टेंशन ले रहे हो, बैठा तो हूं ना मैं। और पापा को लगता है क्या है ये बच्चा, थोड़ा तो आराम से स्ट्रेट बैठ थोड़ा। बट दे आर लाइक दैट। यू टेल सम ऑफ योर चिल्ड्रन एंड who didn't get the good marks, बोलेंगे पापा लास्ट टाइम से तो अच्छा आया ना। बोले लास्ट टाइम से अच्छा आया तो क्या हुआ, अरे तेरे ऊपर इतने सारे ज्यादा मार्क्स। पापा क्यों आप कंपेयर कर रहे हो उससे, मैं अच्छा लाया हूं पहले वाले से। एंड द पेरेंट्स गेट कंफ्यूज्ड एंड दे गेट मोर एंग्री। और बच्चे को लगता है पापा अच्छा तो कर रहा हूं मैं। डिफरेंट पीपल हैव डिफरेंट नेचर्स, you should learn to understand. Some people are like, and some students, if they get little less marks, they get more disturbed than the parents. And if you have seen such children, वो पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं बेटा टेंशन क्यों ले रहे हैं, नहीं पापा मेरा 2 मार्क कम आ गया। I know somebody, father is a doctor and son is in 10th or he's in 11th, and पापा बोलते हैं बेटा इतना क्यों पढ़ रहा है यार, कम पढ़। नहीं पापा I have to get into, he also wants to become doctor. So there are some students like that, there are some people like that. We have to learn to understand that इनको बदला नहीं जा सकता है. When we accept people, our relationships become better. When we accept places, we learn to live comfortably. When we accept situations, we can live without anxiety. So that's how we have to learn to understand and accept. Just tolerate siddhi, asiddhi, some. Either failure or success. Be peaceful because everything is not in our hand. There are 5 factors behind every action. We have discussed this previously also. 18.14. Please take out that. Behind every action, there are 5 factors which determine the results. It is not our action only. This is the place. Okay, we'll recite the verse first. 18th chapter, 14th verse. Krishna is describing 5 factors which determine an action. Adhishthanam tatha karta, karanam cha prithak vidham, vividhascha prithak cheshta, daivam chaivatra panchamam. So these 5 factors that determine an action. First is adhisthana, the place where action is done. Second, karta, the performer of the action. Karanam, the instruments which are used to do an activity. Cheshta, the endeavor. And the 5th is daiva, the destiny. So destiny is not always on our side. Who makes the destiny? We make our own destiny by our own actions. God is not making our destiny, we are making our destiny, He is sanctioning it. So we have to understand that we are not the only doers. So we should be detached from the results. Okay, we tried our best, but when the results come, okay, good. They don't come, okay, it was not in my destiny because I may not have done something by which I deserved the result. Okay, accept karo. We'll become peaceful in life. So therefore this siddhi, asiddhi, sama, it is very, very important to practice in our spiritual life. It makes our material life also peaceful and it helps us to practice our spirituality in a better way. Sometimes we get disturbed, why I am not able to increase my devotional standards. I want to chant better, I want to increase my rounds. How many of you ever thought ki, okay, those who are chanting, how many of you are chanting 16 rounds here? Okay, there are a few who are chanting 16 rounds. Chalo. Achha, how many of you are chanting 8 rounds or more? 4 rounds. Okay, बाकी लोग कितना माला कर रहे हैं? 2 माला. अच्छा, कितने लोग 2 माला कर रहे हैं? कितने लोग अभी भी आप ज्वाइन किए हैं आज पहली बार? Okay, there are a few who have come for the first time. So, when we start chanting and practicing the spiritual life, Sometimes we develop this desire है कि थोड़ा आगे बढ़ना चाहिए. ऐसा लगा है कभी कभी जो 2 माला करते हैं 4 माला करते हैं थोड़ा आगे बढ़ना चाहिए, बट नहीं हो पाता है. Some things they come up, some more responsibilities they come up, and we are not able to do that. And then we think मेरे लिए है ही नहीं, मेरे लिए 2 माला ही अच्छा है, हम आगे बढ़ेंगे ही नहीं, हमारे लिए 2 का फिगर ही अच्छा लग रहा है. That is how our mind convinces us कि भाई आगे मत बढ़ो, इतनी भी क्या जल्दी है, करना ही है और क्या करेंगे, चैंटिंग ही करना है, लेकिन कल से, आज से नहीं. आज तो इतना बिजी लाइफ है, you have so many things to do today. So sometimes all these thoughts they depress us, and we feel छोड़ो ना, फायदा नहीं, जाके भगवद गीता क्लास सुन के भी कुछ फायदा तो होता नहीं है, अपनी स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ तो वैसी की वैसी ही रहती है, ज़्यादा कुछ एडवांसमेंट भी हो नहीं रहा है. एक काम करते हैं, इस हफ्ते ब्रेक लेते हैं, सिद्धि असिद्धि सम. प्लीज डोंट गेट डिस्टर्ब बाय आवर ओन फॉलन कंडीशन. कोई बात नहीं, आते रहिए. We don't understand just by coming in association of devotees and hearing Gita, we develop that desire to increase our spiritual standards, and we get the mercy of the Lord, and we get strength from the Lord. So don't underestimate the power of hearing Bhagavad Gita. It is very, very powerful sound vibration. Pravishta karna randhrena swanam bhavasaroruham dhunoti shamalam Krishna salilasya yatha sharat. Just like the first rains, they cleanse everything. Nobody goes to the mountains and nobody goes to the trees to clean them, right? How they get cleansed off? First rains are sufficient. Similarly, when we start practicing this Krishna consciousness, chanting the names of the Lord, the first chanting of the names of the Lord and only few rounds of chanting, they start purifying our consciousness and the mind. Only thing we have to do is be consistent and develop a desire to increase. That's it. That's the most important thing, desire. If we don't have the desire, then Krishna भी कुछ नहीं कर सकते. अगर हम सोच रहे हैं हम नहीं सुधरेंगे वाली कैटेगरी में हैं, तो कृष्णा भी कुछ नहीं करेंगे. We should have this one thing, desire. That helps us increase in our spiritual standards. That's the price we have to pay. We have to be greedy for it. I want it. I want to increase my spiritual standards. That's why we are here for. Otherwise, Sunday evening को कौन एक इतना बोरिंग भगवद गीता क्लास कौन सुनता है भाई संडे को? आप लोग क्यों सुन रहे हैं, इतना मेहनत करके सालों सालों से आ रहे हैं ना? I know some of them, some of the devotees are coming for years now. Why are spending so many hours every Sunday where people they spend their time with their family, they roam around, they have a party time and they go to movies, और हम लोग यहाँ पे बैठ के भगवद गीता सुन रहे हैं. और आपके फ्रेंड्स को बोलेंगे तो बोलेंगे कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो गया इसका. बोले संडे को गीता क्लास सुनने जाता है क्या कोई? ठीक है ना तेरा, ठीक है ना, कुछ प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं हो गया. Why? Because we have understood the value of Bhagavad Gita. So only one thing is required, desire. If you have the desire, all of you have desire, that's why we are spending our quality time here. Please increase the desire. Vibhishan, when he comes to surrender to Ram, he's thrown out by Ravan. And Vibhishan comes with 4 of his associates. They are still in the sky at the shore of Rameshwaram, and all the monkey soldiers, they are seeing these 5 demons in the air, very big bodied black demons, and they are discussing कौन है मार देते हैं, लगता है लंका से आ रहे हैं, and they are discussing. And Vibhishan, he has the power to hear what they are speaking, so he understands कि क्या बोल रही हैं. So on his own he introduces himself. He says, I am brother of Ravan. My name is Vibhishan. Abhi maro isko. Abhi maro. He is brother of Ravan. And he says, please listen to my words. Ravan has thrown me out of his kingdom. I have come to surrender to Ram. Nivedayat mam Shipram Raghavaya Mahatmane Saravaloka Sharanyaya Vibhishanam Upasthitam. He says, Nivedayat mam Shipram. Please immediately go and tell Lord Ram that I have one Nivedan. What is my request? Please give me your shelter. Immediately take me in your shelter. Shipram. You know why? Because I am a demon by nature. अभी मेरे मन में आया है सरेंडर करना है, प्लीज एक्सेप्ट मी. बाद में बदल गया तो फिर बोलना मत. So when we develop a desire to come closer to God, when we develop a desire to chant little more, read little more, please do it. We should have that desire. Krishna bhakti rasabhavita mati kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate tatra laulyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti sukritir na labhyate. If you want to develop that taste for spiritual life, we have to pay a price for it. फ्री में कुछ नहीं मिलता है, फ्री में केवल इस्कॉन का प्रसाद मिलता है. उसके बाद प्राइस पे करना पड़ता है, माला करना पड़ता है, वो भी फ्री में नहीं है. फ्री में मिलता है, but we have to pay a price. What is the price to get this taste for spiritual life? Tatra laulyam api mulyam. What is the price? Laulya. We have to be greedy for it. I want it. So if we don't have this thought, I want it, Krishna nahi denge. Because Krishna can give everything but bhakti. बाकी कुछ भी मांगो जल्दी मिल जाता है कृष्ण से, भक्ति नहीं देते इतनी आसानी से. You know why? Any guesses? Krishna will give you material things if you want it. Krishna will give mukti if you want it. He'll not give bhakti so easily. You know why? Because Krishna is purchased by bhakti. He is now, when a devotee tells anything, Krishna is forced to do it. करना ही पड़ता है, devotee बोलते हैं तो. That's why Krishna, he wants to make sure, Baba, he will not abuse me. He will not abuse the freedom and the liberty given to him. So that's why he gives bhakti after lots of test. सच में चाहिए और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. Prabhupada gives the example of a small child. Crying, small child is crying, mummy aake gives some toys and child becomes pacified, mummy chali jati hai. Still he is crying, then mother will again come and she will give something to eat and the child is now pacified. Again the mother will go and do her work. And then when still अभी ऐसा ही उसको भी कुछ चाहिए लग रहा है, still the child is still crying loudly. अब क्या करेगी माँ? अब उठाना ही पड़ेगा इसको. अभी इससे काम नहीं, ना टॉय चाहिए ना कुछ खाना चाहिए, अभी इसको माँ चाहिए. So that's how Krishna is. When we really tell Krishna, I don't want anything but you, then he will give that taste for chanting. Otherwise अभी प्रॉब्लम क्या है, अपना चैंटिंग का टेस्ट कभी आता है? जो लास्ट वाला काउंटर नीचे जाता है ना, माला जब खत्म होती है ना, कितना आनंद आता है प्रभु जी. उसका कोई चैलेंज, उसका कोई कंपैरिजन नहीं जब माला खत्म हो जाती है. और बोलते भी क्या, माला खत्म कर दी. और ऐसी जगह रखो कि दिखना नहीं चाहिए. So we all have come to develop that taste for spiritual life. So we have to understand, we should not get disturbed by whatever is happening in our life. We should not get disturbed by what people are telling about us. People will say so many things. People will keep on judging us, criticizing us maybe. बोलते रहते हैं ना, बात करते रहते हैं लोग. We should not get so much disturbed by what people are telling about us. Because we know what we are doing is the best thing. Okay, so we'll stop here. Any questions anybody has? Any questions or thoughts or comments, if anybody has, they can ask. We have a few minutes. Okay, so it seems there are no questions. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.